didn't even know the credit queen was gonna comment. But let me show y'all something, right? This is what it looked like in those Telegram chats. Pay attention. City Boys Volume 2. It got 1,823 men inside that chat exposing women. Hold on. This Philly chat. 1,069 men in that chat. In that chat. I'm not even trying to get banned, so I had to like screenshot these joints. And Detroit. 575 guys inside this chat exposing women. So what I'm explaining to y'all is that if y'all meet a man and y'all got pictures on Instagram, if y'all met him off of Facebook, why is he still asking for more pictures, right? The man can see you in person after he planned the date. The man already knows what you look like from shooting his shot on social media, on Instagram or wherever, especially if he already met you in person. But the reason I'm telling y'all this is because these men is downright exposing y'all. And like I said, they're not waiting to see you like naked. They're just exposing you. For instance, you invited him to your house. This like the 4th date, right? Let's say by like the 6th date, y'all broke up. On that 4th date, that man already started memorizing your house, the structure of your house, your address, how many kids you got. Even though as a good mom, your kids wasn't there when I had that date, but you made him mad. So now he's in that chat and he's telling these men, thousands of men, with an Instagram picture of you. Oh yeah, this is so-and-so. She live at 234 Spring Street. Make her right at the fire hydrant. She got 2 kids. She don't got no baby dad, so she probably there alone. That's how they exposing y'all. Like I said, license plate, social security number, ID, anything they can get to expose y'all, that's what they doing. It's going beyond just the sexual aspect of it. Then they placing bets on y'all. Oh, $100 to see who gonna hit. $50 to see who gonna hit. $25, $300 to see who gonna hit. Then the bets go from that to like, let's see who can get her to do this in the bedroom. Let's see who can get her to do this in the bedroom. That's how it is in those chats. Hold on though, because it is women in chats too. It's women in those chats exposing other women as well. If any lady hate me for making this video, I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to keep y'all aware and help y'all understand what's going on. I never exposed a woman a day in my life, and I'm not gaining or losing nothing from telling y'all what's wrong. But I just want y'all to understand that, like, just go see for yourself. Go see for yourself. So a lot of people ask me, Poetic, what's your Twitter? I don't have a Twitter to make content on it. I don't have a Twitter to put my TikToks on it. I don't keep a Twitter for that at all. And I definitely don't keep it for corn. But I keep a Twitter in case I ever went viral on Twitter and did not know. In case I needed to clap back at somebody who was talking about me on Twitter. In case if anything happened on Twitter that was about me that I did not know. As a content creator, I felt like that was like smart. Why wouldn't I? So this morning I woke up and I saw that I was trending on Twitter. Now, this man was spreading the word. I had no problem with that. No problem with that at all. But there's one comment that I had a huge problem with. He is a government propaganda agent. He is paid by the government to cause black women to distrust black men. I'm a propaganda government agent? Last time I checked, I was a regular guy from North Philadelphia. What government is putting me on to do? They cut me a check? Please tell me. Please tell me who's doing it. Because I'm not getting nothing from this. Ain't no woman in my DM shooting a shot. Ain't no woman throwing themselves at me. Clearly, I made a post to tell women to not shoot their shot. Ain't nobody paying me. TikTok ain't paying me little to nothing. All I'm getting is follows, likes, and reshares, and saves. I'm not understanding where is this he's a government agent coming from. It's weird. It's really weird. And I never said that only black men was doing this stuff. Please find the video where I said only black men is exposing women. Please cite it. Stitch it, if you will. Duet it. Please tell me. Because I said men. The government is engaged in a quiet war against black men and women to cause division between us. What? Why would I want to cause division between black men and black women? Why would I want to cause division between black women and black men? I'm confused, bro. Y'all conspiracy theorists is out of this world. Y'all say anything, bro. Anything. I'm 25 from North Philadelphia. I work a regular job, bro. I'm a regular guy. I just have a platform. And I'm speaking out because I have a voice. And I want to protect and defend and help women. And that's all it comes down to. Why y'all hating on me?
Hey guys, this is the mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me today. You guys just saw a clip by a guy named Poetic Exposure TV. He's on TikTok, and you know what he said, I am not surprised, but I am disappointed. These men really don't have any respect or regard for women. Not all men, because obviously he's one of the good ones, I would say, right? Just off of this content alone. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he's a saint. But what I'm saying is that he is putting women on game about how men are treating them. So I'm not surprised about this because these are the same men, right? The thousands and thousands and thousands of men complaining about women are the same men who have access to thousands and thousands and thousands of clips of free porn. They have OnlyFans, they have Instagram, they have Twitter. They have so many resources and apps that they can use to have access to naked women. But as usual, it's not going to be enough, right? When you have a bloodlust for something, usually the more you have something, the more you want of it. It becomes addictive. So they're no longer excited by porn. They're not excited by OnlyFans because OnlyFans was a way for them to directly communicate with women and send them money for nudes or whatever, right? They need to turn you into a porn star. They need to turn you into an object of their fantasy for them to destroy, right? The name of the game is usually destroying women. Men usually come together for several reasons: for sports, for war, for gangs, for destroying women, and for creating systems of power to protect their dominance, right? To ensure that they're allowed to rule in perpetuity. So these men don't enjoy life the same way women do. They don't enjoy the same hobbies and interests that women do. A lot of times, men enjoy seeing things get destroyed. This is why they're considered Martian, okay? Martians like war. They like fighting. They like breaking things. They like domination and rule. They don't like to live in peace and harmony and equality with their environment and the people in their environment, right? They need to subjugate whatever is around them. There's always a hierarchy in a group of men, okay? You have the alpha male, the dominant one who's running all the, plays. He's telling them what to do. He's the leader. He's the whatever, right? Then you have the little minions who are following the lead. And yeah, they want to prove themselves to their master and their boss. But by and large, men need to dominate and control others, okay? And it's not all men, but a lot of men, that's how they gain pleasure. They see women as prey. They see women as something to hunt. They don't care if out of these thousands of men that are in these rooms, one of them or a couple of them are rapists or child molesters or murderers. They don't care about that because you're there to be hunted for food. That's why when they talk about women, they describe us as food. They say we're food, literally. I've been in these spaces and these men say that women are food. I ate good. They don't mean oral stuff. They mean that they have consumed the energy of lots of women without really giving anything in return but their penis and their deception, right? Because in order for these men to get access to women who are becoming more intelligent or knowledgeable about who they are, they have to adapt also. So now they're adapting more deceptive language and strategies to get women to let down their guard They're going to constantly keep evolving to get what they want. Women have to evolve too. We have to also be strategists and say that, you know what? How can we protect ourselves from these men? What fail-safe plans can we develop as women to protect ourselves from these wayward men, to protect other women and children from these men, right? So what's interesting to me, what's always been interesting to me, is the fact that men don't understand why women don't trust them. But these are the same men who don't want their male friends around their children, or they don't want other men around their children, period, right? They don't want other men around their siblings. But by and large, a lot of men don't want other men around their children because they know how perverse and destructive and selfish and abusive a lot of men are. But when women who are grown treat these men the same way these men treat men who are around their children, we're called bitter. We're called angry. We're called old, ugly, fat, this, that, and the third, for giving these men the same energy they give to each other when they're around their children. So this is why a lot of baby daddies have an issue with other men being around their kids. It's not just about, oh, I don't want no other man calling my child daddy. No, because they know that, by and large, most men are not protectors or providers of things they don't value. They're predators, right? They won't leave well enough alone. So if they're not attracted to a woman, instead of walking away, they'll continue to use her for whatever she's worth until he's done with her. And then he can move on to the next female that he prefers, right? So these men, they understand that other men are not protectors and providers by nature. A lot of them are predators by nature. They become protectors and providers once they're integrated in a society, in a civilization that enforces harsh consequences for being a predator, right? I always said this, and people said I was a man hater when I was younger, but I remember saying this 10, 15 years ago. I said a lot of men belong in the wild. They don't belong in the house with women and children. They go crazy in a house with women and children. They start to act out and do things that are destructive to the peace and the sanctity of a home. They can be outside the home protecting it, its periphery, but they can't be in the home. It doesn't make sense, right? Because Mars and Venus do not belong in the same house. Somebody's going to get dominated. Somebody's going to be abused when Mars is in any house. So when the woman is in the house with the man, what's going to happen? He's going to abuse and subjugate her, as he has done historically. Now, this is not always the case. There are some men who are wonderful husbands, wonderful boyfriends, and wonderful partners. And shout out to those men, okay? It's not about all men. But by nature, most men do not operate well in a domestic environment. The fourth house is the house of Cancer. It's domesticity. It's the mother. It's nurturing. It's children. The energy of Aries, which is ruled by Mars, does not really operate well in the fourth house of Cancer, okay? That is a feminine energy. Now we have Mars in Scorpio as well. That's the other side of Scorpio that is a bit more mature, a bit more responsible, a bit less destructive to its environment. It's more feminine in expression because it's a water sign. So there's, there are some men who work well at home, right? There are some men who can live at home, protect their family, provide all this stuff. That happens too. But by and large, men need to be free, especially wild men who were not attached to any woman. Wild men who don't want girlfriends, who don't want wives, who don't want children. They're essentially like, gang members in the streets of America or in the world in general. These are men with nothing to do because the world has been conquered for them already, right? They can go to the grocery store to get meat instead of going out to hunt and having their lives put in danger every time they go out to get something to eat, right? They don't have to go to war to build anything or to fight anybody, right? Things have been built for them by and large. So now all of this Martian energy and expression needs an outlet somewhere. So what's next? They're not going to go against the government because the government will smash them down, okay? They're going to go against a soft target. That's women and children. It's easy to talk about women all day, every day. But guess what? PNB Rock got shot by another black man. He got shot and killed by a black man, just like many other rappers do. But instead of addressing that, these men are going to attack women. They're going to try to destroy women. They're going to blame women for their issues. This is the destructive nature of Martian masculine male energy. So this man saying that other men are trading women's information online because they don't really have an attachment to them and they see these women as a conquest. They don't really respect the humanity of women whatsoever. They're just objects to them. I am not surprised about this. I'm not surprised. I am against excessive government intrusion and oversight. But unfortunately, when you have a bunch of men in this society who have nothing better to do, you're going to have to use the government to protect and provide for women when their men refuse to do so. So now the government becomes the patriarch of the community. Okay, the police officers, right? The politicians even, the firefighters, they become the protectors and providers, and they're being paid to do this. If a man is not being rewarded for his sacrifice, a lot of times he's not going to sacrifice anything. He's going to want something in return for his provision and his protection of women. And that's fair. You don't want to be used or manipulated. That's fine. It's okay to want to be rewarded for your efforts. But a lot of these men feel like these women and children are not worth protecting and providing for. We're only here to do what? Be exploited and preyed upon like food and eaten like food. What do you do with food? You absorb the nutrients and you shit out the rest that you can't digest. So you're going to take what you want from these women and throw away their bodies as if they're nothing, and then call them bitter at the age of 25, 26, 27 because you've treated them like food. So they want younger and younger prey, right? Predators always want younger and younger, more docile prey. This is why in the animal kingdom, the predators go after the calves. They go after the babies. They don't go after the big ass buffalo or the big ass elephant with the tusks. No, they go after the helpless little baby who's naive and weak and doesn't understand what's going on. This is the same mentality. This is why so many men like Andrew Tate prefer young women. Not because young women are more attractive, and they are by and large because life hasn't really beaten them down yet. Fine. But it's not because of their youth. It's because of their gullibility. It's because of the fact that they are not up on game and they can be easily used and manipulated and tricked into giving up something of value to a worthless motherfucker who ain't shit, who's a predator, who's been preying on women. What, he's 35, 36 now, since he was 18, 19 years old for 15, 16 years. He's a predator. So now you want a 20-something-year-old girl that doesn't know who you are, right? Doesn't know game. So now she's food for you too. And then when you toss her to the side, she's also bitter. This is classic narcissism. There's no accountability for the role they play in destroying our society, right? So now women are being put in danger by men who are their only predators. I read a tweet online several months ago, and a woman said that women are one of the only species on the planet. I think the black widow spider is another species where they kill their partner after they've been impregnated by them. But women, by and large, have to date their only predator. It is very dangerous for women to allow every man into her space. So the reason why a lot of women stiff arm men is not because we're mean, it's not because we're rude, it's not because we're bitter, whatever the case may be. It's because dating the wrong man can potentially be a life and death situation, okay? Before social media, it was like this, okay? But instead of acknowledging the role that men play in women distrusting them at this point and not wanting to be around them, they're going to blame the women and say, women are spoiled, women are selfish, women are useless, they're old and bitter. Let's go to a third world country and feed off of a desperate girl making 15 cents a day in a remote village in Thailand. Let's do that. Let's prey on her. Let's use our American passport as leverage to turn this woman into our own domestic slave who doesn't question anything we do. They need us. They're dependent on us, and they are going to serve us. Men want servants. Not all men, but many men want servants. Many women want slaves. So now that women are not doing this by and large anymore because they have their own responsibilities and lives and children and jobs and careers, and they're like, why am I slaving for you and these corporations and my children? What time do I have left for me? These men are going to now weaponize whatever they have at their disposal to physically, emotionally, psychologically, and even financially subjugate these women and use them for whatever they're worth to them. Okay, so they're trading these women's information like Pokemon cards. And while they're doing this, they're going to gaslight you and tell you that you're crazy for not smiling at them in the street, that you're crazy for not giving them a chance, that you're crazy for being paranoid about them and wanting them to prove themselves and their loyalty to you before you take them seriously, right? They are going to act like they don't know why all these standards have to be raised for women, because these men will do anything to prey on women. They will lie to them. They will cheat on them. They will steal from them. They will manipulate them. They will physically abuse them to the point where the woman has no sense of self. She has no identity outside of the relationship. That is the ultimate goal, to conquer the woman completely, not just mentally, but emotionally, physically, okay, even financially, even spiritually. I want you to worship me like I'm your God. I want you to put me before your children that came out of your body. And if you're not willing to do that, you're not grateful. Okay, you're not worthy of being my wife. Meanwhile, I wonder how many men in these Telegram spaces are married. How many of these men have girlfriends and wives at home and baby mothers at home while they're out preying on other women? It is not uncommon. Dave Chappelle made a joke several years ago. He said that when he was coming up as a comedian in New York, he got paid a substantial amount of money, tens of thousands of dollars, and he had it in a backpack, and he went on the train. I don't know why he would do that. He could have taken a cab, but he went on a train, and he was going home, and all the while he was very paranoid about, somebody coming up on him to take his money. Even though nobody knew who he was a very plain, basic looking guy. He knew that he had something valuable on him that somebody wanted, and that made him even more paranoid. And he said that it dawned on him that that's how women by and large feel every single day. Dave Chappelle was scared of the men who was willing to steal money from him, right? To take something of value from him. And he was also afraid for the women who had something of value that these men also wanted to take. So who's the common denominator here? Men. They are the common denominator in most of the tragedies and issues and drama and strife and violence and safety issues in our community. The same men who don't know why nobody wants to be around them anymore, nobody trusts them, they're in these spaces weaponizing technology against women. They turn everything into a weapon. They turn sex into a weapon, money into a weapon, food into a weapon. Everything is weaponized when you're dealing with Martians. Because the name of the game is subjugation and rulership and war. They enjoy doing it. It's fun for them to see somebody's face get smashed in. That makes them happy. They get high off of that, right? It is fun for them to run train on a woman 4 and 5 and 6. I don't understand it, I don't get it. I think it's disgusting. But for them, the woman is just a fleshlight. She's nothing. She's nothing, literally. She's an object to be used to pleasure himself with. That is it. He doesn't care about her feelings, her hopes, her dreams, her identity, nothing. So now these men are bitter and entitled. I said a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago, that men need a pound of flesh from women. They need women to suffer to prove how much they're worth being provided for, being protected. I need you to endure this obstacle course of emotional, psychological, and physical abuse so that you can prove to me that you're worthy of my love and respect and honor and provision. I need a pound of flesh here. You're not going to get away scot-free from me, right? A lot of women are okay with turning a man down these days, okay? We're attractive, we have our own money, we have our own places. We're not as dependent on them as they would like for us to be. So when, we break off things with them after a couple of weeks and months because they failed to deceive us into thinking that they were worth settling for, what they'll do is they'll go behind your back and post your information online. If that's their pound of flesh. It's like most of these men require the woman to suffer in the relationship with them to prove their worth. I don't believe you love me unless you're bleeding for me, unless you're suffering for me. That's what it seems like to me. And it's been like that for a while. That's where this whole ride or die chick thing came from. Okay? I'm going to put you through a lot of shit so that you can prove to me that you're worth settling for me. So many women are saying, nah, I'm cool on that. After a couple of dates, it's all good. No hard feelings. You got the panties. Okay, I'm not going to hate you for that. We both had a good time. Go about your fucking business. No hard feelings. There's no attachment now. Now I don't need you anymore. Now these men are realizing that they can't flip the script on women anymore. They can't manipulate women anymore into, groveling for them, begging for their acceptance and their love. Women are now learning to detach from relationships the same way men have in the past. It's just sex for many of us. I'm not saying I'm doing that, because I'm not. But a lot of women are cool with a casual sneaky link here and there. And then when the woman is the one to break things off, these men feel used because they weren't the ones to cut things off with the woman. So that's another reason to attack the woman, right? To try to harm her in other ways by posting her information online so that other men can hunt her. This reminds me of the movie Players Ball. I think it was a movie with Lisa Ray back in the 90s. I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw little clips of it because it was a bit rough for me. But in one scene, one of the strippers was set up by Ice Cube and some other guy that she turned down, and they set her up or something like that. And they set her up to get raped by somebody else. Okay. And they sat by and listened to this lady getting beaten and raped in the next room. And they were cool with it. They felt like she deserved it. That guy could have killed her. They didn't care. They wanted her to pay for not allowing them to use her body for their sexual pleasure. They didn't care about her like that. And she knew this. And they proved that they didn't care about her by putting her in a position to be raped by another man. So her instincts were correct. And these men don't like it when women outsmart them. They don't like it when women figure out the game before they have an opportunity to be used and manipulated. So what they'll do is use whatever they have at their disposal, your pictures, your information, to give it to other men so that you can be their prey. You can be hunted by them. Okay, that's not always the case, but that's one of the motivations. Get back, right? It's get back. And also these men are using these, platforms to pat themselves on the back to prove that they can eat, that they can get attractive women. There's a war. They've waged war on women. This is what men usually do. They wage war on something. So because they're no longer fighting Russia, we're not fighting in Vietnam, we're not fighting in World War II, we're not fighting all these other physical hot wars in Iran and Iraq and all this other stuff. They need another outlet to express their destructive nature. Okay? And unfortunately, because you are a soft target as a woman, you are the first in line to be chosen. Yes, some of them choose other men. They blow their heads off in the street, right? Yes, they attack children. They molest them and rape them too. But by and large, you are the ones that's the easiest target because you can't defend yourselves against a man the same way as another man could. Okay? Other men have muscles too. And other men are also strong. So they use weapons to destroy other men. But back in the day, they used to, beat them up, stab them, whatever the case may be. But now that they have access to guns, they find more expedient ways of destroying other men. This is what they do. This is their nature. And then they'll tell you that your weave is the problem. Your attitude is the problem. Your lack of submissiveness is the problem. Why would I want to submit to a man who lacks integrity and emotional discipline? Why would I want to submit to a man who I feel could be a danger to me if he doesn't get what he wants? And the danger may not be physical. Again, the danger may be social, right? Men weaponized society against women too. Back in the day, women got a sort of a scarlet letter for being a victim of abuse, okay, of rape, or not being married by a certain age, or having a child out of wedlock, right? A lot of men learn how to control women by using society and culture and other women as a weapon against them too. Now, Poetic Exposure TV also said that other women are doing this to women as well. I'm not surprised either. There are so many pick-me, dingy women out here that will hate on another woman for getting the man that they wanted or sleeping with the man that they wanted, and they will weaponize technology against her. I think this happened to Kanika Jenkins a couple years ago when she was murdered. There were a few girls around who were jealous and they set her up to get killed. That's one of the stories that was going around. This is not uncommon at all. There are so many women that set up other women to get raped by men because they want that woman to be defiled by those men. They want to use men as a weapon against other women to make women less desirable to them. This is what happens all of the time. I'm not surprised about the dingy pick-me women who are doing this too. I'm not. So now we have women colluding with men to destroy other women. I wonder if there's a space for this for women to expose men who have been cheating, right? Or who are married or who are dogs. Are women doing this? Does anybody have any information about that? I don't know. That would be interesting to find out if there's an equivalent for women who are exposing men who are lying. And I wonder if the women's equivalent is as vicious as the man's equivalent is. So the man's equivalent is about exposing these women to other men for abuse and rape and robbery and whatever else, right? Potentially. But the women's exposure may be a way to protect other women from these men. Like, don't date them, girl, right? I think that was a famous site several years ago, got shut down. But these women were posting information about men who were married and cheating with baby daddy issues and STDs and all this other stuff. I wonder if there's an equivalent telegram for women to share information about men that they've dated in the past. I would think that there would be one for women who've dated DL men or gay men or married men or men with STDs and no jobs. And there's so many opportunities for this. I don't know if this happened yet, but it is what it is. But again, not surprising. So just to recap, I am not surprised that men are weaponizing technology against women the same way they weaponize sex and money and society and law against women for generations. This is the way that their mind operates. If I can't control you, if I can't conquer you, I am going to destroy you. You are nothing but prey to me. You're nothing but food for me to eat. The porno isn't enough. OnlyFans is not enough. Instagram ain't enough. Backpage ain't enough. All this access to free and easy sex is not enough. I need to now turn the women that I have eaten with, that I've spoken with, I've visited their homes, I've broken bread with them, we've had conversation. I need to now annihilate the women that I've actually had contact with to prove that I am an alpha male, that I am dominant. As with everything else, this has become a sport to them, okay? Putting you in danger is a sport for them. They enjoy it. Listen, man, this is really, really, really dangerous. And I wonder if there are serial killers and pedophiles in these spaces, because these men want low-hanging fruit, right? They're giving out addresses, social security numbers, phone numbers. But they don't care, though, because it's not their mother, it's not their sister, it's not their daughter. It's just some hoe, right? Unless I care about you, you're nothing but a hoe to me. Unless I can use you for what I want, you're nothing but a hoe to me. You can die for all I care, okay? But I'm going to leave it there. I really look forward to reading your comments about this because, you know, I didn't know this was happening, but I'm not surprised. Like, everything else is happening, so why not this? Anyway, I look forward to reading your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.